Hello guys, good morning. Welcome back to ChatGPT, and now we're gonna start chapter 3, which talks about the protists and fungi. The protists are single-celled eukaryotes, so they are eukaryotes. And now I'm going to remind you the difference between the eukaryotes and the prokaryotes again. The eukaryotes are organisms that they possess nuclei. Nuclei is the plural of nucleus, while the prokaryotes they lack the nucleus, and also they lack all the membrane-bound organelles. This is the main difference between them. So the protists, as we know now, they are eukaryotes and commonly show characteristics, means features from animals. So they have some features from animals, especially the mobility and heterotrophy. Mobility means movement. Mobility means movement, and heterotrophy means that they cannot make their own food. They depend on other organisms to make their own food. These are the definition of this is the definition of the protist. Single-celled organisms, so they are single-celled like the bacteria, but they are not prokaryotes, they are eukaryotes. They resemble some features from animals like the movement and the heterotrophy. They always need a moist environment, and this one is very important. This one also I found this in the exams. They always need a moist environment, and moist means watery environment, or the environment that contains water. Microsporadia is an important protist that they are used as insecticides. And what are the insecticides? Are the structures that they kill insects which attacks the crops, and they are important agriculture parasites that infect insects. So the farmers, whenever they need to kill the insects without using any chemicals or any external chemicals that may harm the crops, they use the microsporadia, because the microsporadia is a natural structure that kills the insects without any side effects that affects the crops. See, the microsporadia is a natural insecticide, all right? It is a protist that infects or kill the insects that attacks the crops. All right, the protists are primarily classified according to nutrition. How do they obtain their food? So now the first classification is how they obtain their food. I have three types of or groups according to the nutrition. They are animal-like, plant-like, and fungus-like. Animal-like means they are not animals, but they have some features from animals. And same goes for plant-like and fungus-like. So then whenever you find these like, or this part of the word that is like, this means that they look like the other organisms. And why do they look like the other organisms? Because they have some features. So the animal-like, they are heterotrophs. Again, heterotrophs means that they eat other organisms. Like the paramecium. We're gonna discuss this example later on. The plant-like are autotrophs, the exact opposite of heterotrophs. Autotrophs, they make their own food, but they have a very important structure that helps them to make their own food. It's the chloroplast. The chloroplast, by the way, it is the structure that makes or that give the green color for the leaves of the plants. So the chloroplast is an organelle in the plant-like autotrophs. They makes them or help them to make or carry out the photosynthesis process. So the plant-like, they are autotrophs. What are the autotrophs in general? Are organisms that they have a chloroplast to make what? To make the photosynthesis process, and through this process they can make their own food. Green-like plants, and this is one example of these green-like plants. The last group here is the fungus-like protist. The fungus-like protist, they could be decomposers and heterotrophs. Heterotrophs, now we know that they depend on other organisms to get their food. They kill or they hunt them, while the decomposers, they feed on dead bodies. And this is the key word, they feed on dead bodies. Whenever you hear decomposer, they feed